Right, not left, but all right. Welcome to a episode of day one of a coffee journey. Cafe music cue now. Cue now. No, not so loud. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Down. Okay. Basically, when you're on a coffee journey, you don't normally do a coffee journey at home, but you can. So, can walk you through like some stages of coffee tasting and things like that for those of you that do not know how to taste coffee. Do you know how to taste coffee? All right, but yeah, it's pretty simple. When you're doing a coffee tasting or like getting to know a coffee, you're going to, let's say you did home, all right. You have a small little French press or plunger as they call it, or brewed coffee or something like that. You're going to get the coffee bag. Maybe it's grinded, maybe it's not grinded, but you get your coffee, grind it up to the specific moles. What we use for French press is 1:15 grams of water or coffee. 1:15 grams of 1 gram of coffee is to 15 grams of water, boiling water, all right, or filtered water or bottled water, but preferred filtered or bottled. If you get a filtration system, that's even better. It's going to help the coffee taste. You get your proportion, you get your grind right, then you get your water, which is, I said, like your proportion. You get your coffee, you get your, but basically there's 4 fundamentals of coffee tasting or coffee preparing or preparation, which is your proportion, which is basically a proportion of coffee is to water. Like I said, 1:15, so you can measure 1 gram of coffee to 15 grams of water. Get a scale, come on, track your macros, bruh. Track the macros. Basically, this proportion, your grind has to be specific to the way you are going to brew your coffee, which is like if you're using French press, which is using your paper fill, your French press, okay, or plunger is basically the last grind setting of any grinder. It's pretty coarse, meaning it's very big chunks of coffee instead of like small chunks of coffee and things like that. You have the small chunks of coffee, then there's like your finer one, which goes to more espresso and Turkish, which is more finer, more refined. The coffee extracts pretty fast from the beans, because the grind is coarser. And freshness pertains to how fresh the beans are. Freshness, obviously, it influences the coffee taste and everything. So if it's not so fresh, you're not going to get a full coffee taste of the flavor or the coffee flavor of the coffee, and it's not going to taste very nice. It's going to just taste like coffee. But you are a coffee lover and you want it to taste like coffee, which is good for you and for us and for many, for your fellow peers, to make yourself sound more on a higher class, let's say. Okay, so it's the, obviously, like I said, the proportion, freshness, grind, water. Then you also have your water. Yes, like I said, it's filtered water and everything like that. Then you also have this is after, like, you can brew for 4 minutes if you're using like French press and so on. Normally it takes about 4 minutes to brew, so you put your timer on for 4 minutes. All right, let it brew and then you plunge. All right, you can even, and that's when you talk about the coffees, about the backstory, where does it come from. If you know the taste and the flavor notes, get that sheet out and read it. All right, make yourself sound like a scientist explaining the coffee. You know the coffee background, so you can explain it, bruh. All right, round. Oh snap! What the? Oh my gosh! Anyway, that's pretty much how you're gonna coffee go. Then how you're gonna explain your coffee. What is the fundamentals, details about the bean? Where does it come from? What is the backstory of it? After the 4 minutes, you're gonna go into your tasting. And when you're tasting the coffee, you're gonna explain there's 4 steps of tasting, which is your slurping. It's not just slurping. Your smelling. Your smelling is the first step. This is to get the aroma of the coffee. Your slurping. This is to get the acidity of the coffee. Basically the edges around your tongue. Your smelling, obviously, for the aroma. Your nose picks up more smells. That's why you smell nasty. All right. Okay. Of the coffee, and then you're gonna go into your locating. You're locating for the body. So how does the coffee feel on your palate? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? And then you're also gonna go into your describing is what do you taste in the coffee, the flavors. And that's pretty much what is the pairings you can go for. If it's a chocolate coffee, obviously it goes nice with chocolates, right? If it does not go nice with chocolates, don't put chocolate inside. It's not gonna be nice, right? And then you're done with the coffee tasting. Now everyone's clapping for you and you did a good job. That's basically the coffee tasting. Remember, when you're on a coffee journey, you're going through a lot of things. There's a lot of fundamentals that you have to learn. There's a lot of things you have to go through. Obviously this is day 1. Day 2, we are gonna explain something more on coffee. It's not about just making like steaming milk, pouring coffee, or extracting coffee shots. It's a journey that takes a long time, from before coffee was a plant. Remember, coffee came and was founded by a boy and a goat. Never have I ever heard of such things. Episode 2 coming soon.